We're live. Awesome, awesome. I was like, let's be on time. And here we are. Welcome. Happy Monday. If you happen to be catching this on a Monday, other than that, grand day, grand evening, grand rising, whenever you happen to be catching this. My name is Anjulique, also known as Anjulique the Artist. I am a certified professional life coach, a youth mental wellness advocate, and an expressionist artist. And I am sharing this inner creator coaching process with you here live on Facebook as a way to share the journey with you, as a way to give you an insight into what this process is like. The inner creator coaching process is one that I have found myself going through. There was a time when I was not Anjulique the artist. I was simply Anjulique trying to survive. And when I say survive, I mean surviving at the very bare minimum. We can have a tendency to believe that we can only get so much, that we only deserve so much, that anything we get or we receive or we are worthy of has to come from external circumstances or other individuals making sure relationships are right. I know that was definitely me. Has there ever been a time when you felt that your survival was based off of external circumstances or having a certain relationship with other people? Going through that season in my life, living with those limiting beliefs, led me into a really dark space. It led me into homelessness. It led me into suicidal ideation. And it was a season in my life where I felt like a victim. And I didn't admit that openly during that time, but I did. I felt like the world only had so much for someone like me. And then as I began going through my personal development journey, through my spiritual development journey, I discovered that all of the situations, all of the circumstances, all of the experiences that I was having, they were starting in me. And that they were building from those limiting beliefs that I had, that things had to come from outside of me, that other people had to have the control over what I could and could not have in this life. And so I began to dismantle those beliefs. And I began to reconnect and re-recognize that there is a creator on the inside of me, that the creator of the universe, source, divine, God, Allah, whatever, Krishna, whatever you want to call this all knowing, all creative, all powerful being, that source creative energy, that's inside of me, and it's inside of you. And so this process of inner creator coaching is to help you tap into that so that you can make more authentic decisions, so that you can find inner stillness, and so that you can begin to strengthen your creative power and be more active in your life creation. And before we go any further, I know this is public on Facebook and I'll be sharing this across other platforms. But please know that if you book me, when you book me for a one-on-one session, or you decide to join the Inner Creator Connection group, that these conversations will be confidential, that this is a safe space to share openly and vulnerably, because that's the only way you're going to get your breakthrough, is when you're able to openly and authentically express what you're going through, express what's blocking you, share your experience and hear it out loud. This is a safe space for that, and I will hold that confidential. You, as the client, on the other hand, if you want to go out and tell everybody about what you're experiencing, what you're going through, you can absolutely do that. You have complete freedom to do that. But as the coach, it is a part of my ethics to hold this safe, confidential, and private. So what am I looking to accomplish through this inner creator connection, inner creator coaching process? Like I said, it's helped me to create a better life for myself, to have a more authentic sense of what decisions are meant for me, what situations are meant for me, and most importantly, understand that everything that I experience in life, everything that I'm creating in life, it starts from me. And this first session is about just opening that awareness that you're created, connected, that we are connected to an inner creator, the divine creator. All life is created from source energy, star energy, earth material, the matter, the atoms. Everything is created from the same source. All life breathes from the same atmosphere. The birds, the plants, the whales, the humans, the lizards, the insects. We're all breathing and living from this same atmosphere. When any living thing passes away, the physical body disintegrates back into the earth, and their final breath floats out into the ether, into the atmosphere, and is continued to be cycled through the air and the atmosphere that we all keep breathing, that is shared by all of life. And when we think of creating or being a creator, we're using what already exists, what's already been created. Nothing comes from nothing. It's all a transmutation of energy and matter in combination with our imagination. And as human beings, we have that powerful gift, that powerful tool of imagination to bring things to life that seem like they come out of nowhere. Cars, planes, boats, bicycles, concrete, ceilings, roofs, clothes. All of these things come from imagination. Technology, computers, all of these things come from our imagination. All of these things are using materials that have already been created. And then we put them together, we glue them together, we form them together with our imagination. In the Christian Bible, it says, in the beginning there was the dark, void earth. In science, there was a collection of atoms that came together through gravitational pull and then exploded out into the elements of the stardust and everything that science bases our creation off of. What makes a thing new is not what it's made of. It's how the imagination puts together what already exists. So from that, I gather the understanding that I am made from what already exists. As human beings, we believe that we are born from our parents. We emerge from our parents. There's the sperm and the egg, and they come together and they make the embryo, and things grow, and then you're out into the world. Those things already existed. You already existed because the creator of the universe already existed. Because the universe, because spirit, because the source already existed and made everything from its own energy. So again, I hope this is tapping into you, that you are created from the creator. You are made from source energy. It is in you. And when we tap into our imagination, we get to produce and bring new things into being because we have that powerful creator within us. Plants simply grow. They just do their nature thing. The seed was created by the creator, and they go around just growing. The birds, the insects, the sea creatures, they were created and formed from all the different types of cells that matriculated and evolved from that same creative energy. And they just grow and evolve and do, but they don't imagine, they don't create. So I want to make sure that that is tapping into you. So I have some questions. What are your thoughts on the concept shared today about being a creator that emerged from the creator? For me, when I first discovered this, when I first truly tapped into this, it was a bit bewildering. You know, as I said, I was somebody who was doing the very bare minimum to just survive. And I realized when I came into this understanding that I had put myself into those situations of homelessness, of emotionally abusive relationships, of disrespectful jobs, before I even got into them. Let me explain. When I was younger, I had this sense of incredible responsibility for myself. And as a child, I understood that there were certain things in life that were required, and that there were different levels of that, such as housing, transportation, relationships. And as a child, it was my understanding that I only had such a capacity to provide those things for myself as a child. And that as I grew older, that I would have a greater capacity. However, there are some adults who still only have such a capacity, while others seem to be more unlimited, seem to have a higher capacity for creating a lifestyle that is more high-end or upper class. And I remember being a young person and feeling that sense of responsibility. And how do I want to say this? Because I want to be mindful. Feeling that sense of responsibility and coming to terms with myself that I guess I'll just put it frankly, coming to terms with myself that homelessness was a possibility for me. That being out on the street was a possibility for me. And I remember when I was in high school, I was a part of the Extreme for Jesus Club and a part of the missionary club. And we would go out and make care packs and sandwiches, get gloves and hats for the people living in downtown Chicago that were living on the streets. And I remember interacting with some of these people and feeling like, they seem kind of all right. They seem like their mood is pretty high, They seem like they're making it work. And for myself as a young person, I took that in deeper than I knew at that moment. And I took that into my life going forward. And I remember when I was in college and I realized that I didn't want to study what I was studying anymore. And I decided to drop out of school because I was like, there's no point in me getting student loans. If there aren't the resources there, there's only such a capacity for me to be able to go to school, to afford college, higher education. So there's no point in me getting these student loans if I'm not certain about what I want to study, if I'm just going to get a degree that I won't use, right? So I kind of laid the groundwork, right? I had a very low standard for my life, just growing up in general. And when I dropped out, I began to pursue writing, improv acting, because I had watched quite a fair bit of Saturday Night Live and Whose Line Is It Anyway? And something about that world and that environment really caught my attention, and I was really drawn to it. And so I was like, let me try this out because it's something that's calling me. However, in the midst of that, I was feeling the increased pressure of having to provide for myself, to build a lifestyle for myself, to earn income, to survive. And at one point when I was 19, I was feeling all this pressure, and I had a panic attack. And I just remember being on the couch, like in the fetal position, heaving, crying. My heart was racing, and I could barely breathe. My mind was racing, and there was so much, it literally felt like pressure just on me, in my body, inside my body, outside my body, so much just chaos. And I remember praying to God and saying, where do I go? Because I can't stay where I am. Because if I stay where I am, I might do violence against myself or someone else, or just end up making some decision like living on the street of Chicago, which I did not want to do because it snows pretty heavy there, okay? Because I had this very limited capacity of what my life could be. And so in that moment, I was inspired to move to Los Angeles. One, because no snow. So if I did end up homeless, again, always just seated in the back of my mind, if I did end up homeless, at least it wouldn't be snowing. At least I could survive that way. And two, I knew it was a place where there was a lot going on. There was always opportunities available, and I could find something, just to survive, to make ends meet, to make it work. So again, I might end up homeless. And if I do, I want to be in sunny California and not in the snow. And two, there's opportunities there, all types of opportunities, entry level, basic opportunities where I can get in. And there's a lot going on. And where I was living in Illinois was in the suburbs. So there wasn't a lot going on as far as job opportunities. There was a liquor store, there was a car shop, there was a church, there was a gas station, there was a Bobo's hot dog place. And in my mind, I felt like all of these places already have people employed there. I've never seen a for hire sign, and I don't have any sort of consistent transportation. So like, I don't know how to make things work. And I felt like LA was one of those places where you can get anything anywhere. I had never been to Los Angeles prior to moving there, but I had this understanding that everything was everywhere and that there were opportunities and I could make it work. And again, my priority, the number one thing was, if I end up homeless, at least there won't be snow. And so God said, go to Los Angeles. Spirit said, go to Los Angeles. Go there. And when I went, I felt free. I felt like a brand new person. I used to have this saying like this, the LA feeling. When I went there, it just felt like home. It felt like I could make my life work there. Again, I felt like freedom. I felt liberated. I felt invigorated. And within my first 2 weeks of being there, I found a job. Whereas I've been looking for months, honestly years, back in Illinois. I found a job within my first 2 weeks. And then I found another job, and then another job. And again, I was doing all of these things just to survive, simply to make ends meet. And doing that did help me to survive. But it also wasn't addressing that standard that I had in my mind, that I could only create so much abundance, so much prosperity, so much opportunities in my life. And I was led into those dark spaces. I was led into homelessness because, again, I just walked you through the journey. I had been thinking about, what if I end up homeless? Basically from 13 up, because I was being told that I had to make things work. I was being told, I was picking up the idea that I had to make things work by any means necessary, and that making things work simply meant being alive, but not having any sort of quality standard of life, if I couldn't make that work for myself. And I didn't believe that I could make that work for myself. Not really, not truly. Externally, I might have been doing my best to try things out, but there was this seed of doubt that I wasn't capable of creating a life that was abundant, a life that was prosperous, a life that was purposeful. Has there ever been a time in your life where you felt that your life wasn't meant to be abundant or prosperous or purposeful? We have a tendency to think that as children, when we are put in the environment where everybody is kind of scraping to get by, looking to make ends meet, just surviving, trying to game the system. And that was definitely something that I picked up, and I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I would rather be homeless. I gotta call myself out. And those seeds, those thoughts, that belief led me into that. It led me into that. Because where your focus goes, the energy grows. What you believe for yourself comes into being. Because we're constantly creator, because we're connected to that creator. And the universe, source, does not have any sort of bias. It does not believe that being homeless is a lower state of being. It does not believe that living in a condo in New York or in Dubai is a higher state of being. It just says this is being. This is life. And it's as human beings where we have our imagination, where we have our desires, where we feel called to a purpose, where we get to decide what that life looks like. So when you are able to connect to that power of being the creator of your life, you can remove those limiting beliefs. You don't have to live through the experiences to know that you really don't want to live there. You really don't want to be there. That isn't where your purpose is. That is not where your calling is. You can hear the stories and the experiences of other people like me and understand that's not where you want to be. At least that was true for me. Because as I went through those experiences, as I lived through those situations and realized the story that I was writing for myself and how I had the desire to write a different story, but I was in my present writing the story that I was living. I was like, these things do not mix. These things do not mesh. Being homeless does not allow me to create a positive, powerful impact on society. It doesn't allow me to be generous with people. And trust me, I tried. Trust me, I was trying. I was really trying to make it work because I was like, this is where I am. And this is what I want to be doing. So this has to be able to work. But the truth is, that's not how that works. You have to have that prosperity inside of you. You have to have that worthiness inside of you before you can really, truly share it. And when you have that prosperity, that abundance, that worthiness inside of you, When you really tap into that, your life begins to reflect that. And that is a lesson that I have learned when I began tapping into my inner creator and understanding the power that comes with that. Because you can literally have anything in this world. Anything in this world. So what is it that you want to create? Right? So I have another question. Why is restoring the connection to your inner creator important for you in this season? For me, you may or may not know, I wasn't particularly aware that this is suicide prevention awareness month, or Suicide Awareness Month. I wasn't particularly aware of that, but as somebody who went through that season, who battled with those thoughts on a regular day-to-day basis, it's important for me to be connected to my inner creator in this season so that I can be a light, so that I can create spaces, so that I can hold people's energy with them and help them to release and help them to create something new. And the only way that I can do that is if I'm connected to my inner creator. So why is it important for you in this season, in this chapter that you're writing, to be connected to your inner creator? A part of these sessions includes a visualization activity. I won't be going through the visualization activities on these lives, but I will be doing that when we have our one-on-one sessions and our group sessions. Because as an artist, I believe it's really powerful to articulate your experience through visual form. And I won't have any specific parameters or materials for what you should create or how you should create it. This is a free flow creation process. However, I do have a prompt for each session. And the prompt for this session is, in your own way, illustrate how we are all created from source energy, star energy, earth material. And if you want to do this through sketching, you want to do this through abstract painting, you want to do it through collaging, that's totally up to you. Whatever it is that inspires you most, whatever materials bring you the most satisfaction, bring that and do it with that. Because this is for you. The visualization work is for you. The process and the product of it. Because the most beautiful thing about visualizing and visually articulating things is that you get to keep them and hold them and keep looking at them. It doesn't wither away like words. It doesn't shift. Well, I guess it does. It can shift meaning, but with words, because I was going to say with words, you know, things can shift, and you might want to like change the wording because the way that words register with you as you go through life tend to shift, and as you learn more and as you grow and you expand your mind. But with visual art, you have that image, and it does allow you to expand and grow. You start seeing new things, you start seeing new relationships, you start getting new inspiration from it. So it's very similar to the words, but with the images, I think it hits a different part of the brain and it hits a different part of the spirit. So I invite you to, again, visualize in your own way, articulate in your own way, how we're all created from source energy, star energy, earth matter, so that you can work on that and sit with that in your own way. And then the self-work, because this is a coaching process, it's 3 different things that you can either do one or you can do all of them. It's really how you want to play in this space, how you want to invest your time and your energy to your process. So the self-work for this is to think of 3 ways that you've used your imagination to combine resources to create something new. And then write about the process for each. So 3 ways that you've used your imagination to combine resources, right? Because everything is already created. And then we put them together, fuse them together to create something new, right? 3 times that you've done that, and write about the process that you went about doing that. And I believe that this reflection, this self-work, will help you open up your mind to remember how you've been creative in the past, how you've used that inner creator power in the past. Reflect on those times. Think of 3 ways that you've used your imagination. Think of 3 ways, think of 3 times that you've combined something that exists to make something new. And the second one, and I'm only going to share 2 because I don't want to give y'all all the tea, you feel me? But the second one that I'll share with you is to list 3 to 5 reasons why restoring the connection to your inner creator is important for you in this season. So that was a question that I asked earlier. Why is restoring the connection to your inner creator important to you in this season? For me, I told you my main reason is to be a light, to be a vessel for people to pour their energy into and help them transmute that energy. And so they have space to create something new. That's why it's important for me in this season. What are 3 to 5 reasons why restoring the connection to your inner creator are important for you? And it's important to do these sorts of things where we list out our goals, where we list out our intentions, where we list out our whys for why we're going through these processes, why we're investing this time and this energy in ourselves, so that we can be reminded that we are on an intentional journey, that your growth is purposeful, that it has a purpose, right? We need those reminders. I've definitely needed those reminders. And doing that type of work has helped me leaps and bounds. And then we're going to share some reading, watching, listening materials. I'm still putting together like that list of what to recommend, because I come across a lot of different things, and what came for me with this one is something that I've been listening to for some time now. I have a playlist on my YouTube called Books, and I think I'm going to be sharing that as part of this service, part of this coaching process. But a book that's been coming up as far as this goes, being connected to your inner creator, is a book by Robert A. Russell called You Can Get What You Want If You Find It Within Yourself. You can get what you want if you find it within yourself. Robert A. Russell. It's available on YouTube to listen to. If you're more of like a physical book person, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But it's been a really powerful listen and read for me. And I believe that it really helps to open up this first section conversation of we are already connected. We're already connected. The inner creator, the creator of the universe, source, spirit, God is in you. And when you begin to tap into that, the whole world opens up. And you don't have to continue living in, walking in, believing in those limiting beliefs, those limiting paradigms, those old ways of surviving. You can free yourself. You can liberate yourself. So thank you for joining me for this first session. It has been my absolute honor and pleasure to be here with you all. And I'm definitely grateful for any of your feedback. I look forward to reading the comments. I'm not particularly sure how to see the comments on here. I know when I go live with other people. Oh, I think it's down here. But yeah, I know this is a pretty early session, and most people will probably watch this on the replay. But if you are watching this on the replay, definitely drop your insights that you got. Definitely drop any recommendations. And I would love to hear those 3 to 5 reasons why connecting with your inner creator are important for you in this season. Because you're watching this now. So apparently, this is something that you felt called to. Something that the universe brought to you. So why is it important for you to connect to that inner creator power in this season? Thank you for joining me. I really look forward to reading and interacting with you all. I'm so grateful that I have gone through this experience myself and that the technology exists to share this with us, between us, I should say. So next week, we're going to be going through session 2, and that session is going to be going over what separation from our inner creator have we imagined. Because again, we are created, connected. So why do we think, believe, imagine that we're separated? And we'll investigate what attachments are pulling us away from that connection. What from the external world is grabbing our attention and making us think that we aren't connected. It's going to be a juicy conversation. So make sure you jump in next week, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, here on the ADC Life Coaching page. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. And if you are on Clubhouse Monday afternoons, I have a beautiful room with Leah Abraham called The Teen Years, where we discuss how we can be more conscious adults with navigating our relationship with teens. And we hear the experiences of teens. And it's a beautiful space. And I would love if you join it. So that's the Inner Creator Conversation House on Clubhouse. And if you are on the Anjulique, the ADC Life Coaching page, you can see links for that soon and very soon, somewhere on the page. So again, have a beautiful, wonderful, spectacular, magical day. I'm so grateful that you went through this journey with me. And I will see y'all next week. Bye.